He asked his sibling to pay rent and kept this money in secret from him. Todd Burkemper had a skeleton in his closet. He demanded his brother to pay him rent money for living in his house for the last 2 years. And for the past 2 years, he was secretly concealing them. He didn't pay for rent and didn't even use that money to pay for the bills. The man was simply stashing them away for his own purposes. And now, when the secret is revealed, it set Alex back on his heels. Why did Todd need to do this? What were the reasons for his penny-pinching behavior? It all seemed really weird. What's more, it's not fair-minded for Todd to ask Alex to pay something toward the house. He owns a property in Wentzville, Missouri, some 30 miles away from St. Louis. And he really helps his brother by letting him live in his home. So it's obvious there must be some underlying motive for that. But what? Todd finished university in 2011 and has been staying at the property since 2013. Then Alex went the same route in 2017. He had just graduated from college and was hoping for a bright future. But there was one problem the boy had to solve. He had somewhere to live, and that's when Todd started playing his game. Since Alex didn't have a lot of money, he planned to stay at his folks' home. But Todd stepped up. He proposed the younger brother move into his house and live together until Alex would find some nice place. How cool of him, right? Of course, Alex accepted such a generous offer, and the two brothers started living together. But here's where everything gets interesting. For the first half a year, he didn't pay any money to Todd. Yet everything drastically changed in the second half of the year. At that point, Todd asked Alex to pay rent money since all that time his brother was living at his home literally for nothing. Pretty reasonable, you might think. Then again, Alex agreed to that even though it was a tough decision for him. He wanted to save money on buying his own place, which made his plans more complicated to fulfill. Speaking of money, that brings us back to Todd. As we mentioned before, the man graduated from university in 2011. And unlike some other students, he was lucky enough to find a really well-paid job. Todd plies his trade for Buildium as an app designer and senior software developer. However, not everything was that easy as you might have thought. You see, during the first couple of years, Todd had to cover the debt that had piled up from his student loans. And this issue made it difficult for the man to save significant portions of his salary. What's more, Todd bought his own vehicle, which also needed regular maintenance. And then there's the house. Like we said before, he moved into it in 2013, but there's more to it than that. He didn't just purchase the finished house. Instead, the app designer allegedly commissioned the construction of a building from scratch. So it's no wonder Todd had faced some financial challenges at that time. However, Todd managed to overcome these challenging times and came out the other side. But this experience was pretty fresh when his younger brother graduated from college and was about to face the same destiny. Thus, Todd offered him such a fantastic opportunity, which really highlighted the state of their relationship. In fact, the siblings had always been close pals despite a 6-year age gap between them. Thus, being housemates was a pleasure for both of them. It also explains why Todd decided to let his brother live with him for free for the first half of the year. If they weren't that close, he would definitely ask Alex to pay rent from the very beginning. Anyway, we know what they want to know now. How much did Alex have to hand over following those 6 months? Well, the software developer told The Kelly Clarkson Show in 2020 that he asked Alex to pay $350 a month, which was $4,200 a year. It sounds like a fair rate, doesn't it? You might have supposed the price would be higher. But let's compare it to the average rent price in the state. According to rentdata.org, the average fair market rent prices had a significant range depending on the property. For example, you'd have to pay $484 a month for a studio, while houses with 4 bedrooms would cost $1,086. If to talk about the house Alex was living in, it costs around $700 a month. But let's remember, it's an average price. The numbers in different parts of the state significantly range in cost. So let's stick with the above properties to give you a better idea of that. So the rent price Alex was asked to pay was pretty reasonable when compared to the previous figures. He could have paid much more. But keep in mind that the sibling didn't put Alex's cash into bank accounts as you'd expect. Instead, the older brother decided to stash the payments in a secret spot. Todd told the Kelly Clarkson Show that he kept his plans in secret for almost 2.5 years, and Alex had no clue that it was happening.
And he lived here for about 6 months rent-free, but then I decided, I was like, hey, I need you to start paying rent, but I just took the $350 a month and put it in a savings account.
Anyway, why was Todd doing this? Why would he need to store such money in a secret place? Where was he going to put them later? You see, he had an intriguing plan for his younger sibling, and Todd shared it with their parents. Yes, their mom, Barbara Burkemper, was soon let in on the big secret. In fact, Todd was saving up the cash to help Alex purchase a house himself. Yet Barbara was asked to keep this information secret. The woman spoke to the UK's Evening Standard newspaper in July of 2020 and recalled the moment when Todd told her about his big, heartfelt plan. Plus, she added she was constantly talking with Alex about his future home, as it was at the forefront of his mind. Barbara said, Todd told us he was doing this from the start, but asked us to please not let Alex know. It's very hard for me to keep a secret, so every time Alex mentioned looking for a home, I would talk him down, telling him it was not the right time to buy. However, Barbara wasn't able to hold her son off for long. Alex had been living with his brother for almost 3 years and intended to fulfill his dream. And the mother recognized he was pretty serious during their chats. She continued, "This time, I knew he was serious, so my husband and I could not wait until Todd told Alex." Finally, the younger brother was given the green light to purchase his own house on the evening of May 27, 2020. Barbara and her husband came to Todd's home with a camera in their hands. You might see that the latter holds his phone out for his brother to see in the video. Showing the screen, he says, "That's yours." After staring at the page for a few seconds, Alex asked simply,
That's yours.
Oh.
So, you know how I started making you pay rent?
Yeah.
A couple years ago?
Yeah.
I just saved all the money and put it in the savings account. And
He didn't just save your money, he put some money into it too.
that's for you for, you know, your new house. I didn't want you to have to struggle like I did, so.
Beaming with excitement, their dad chimes off the camera.
Pretty good boys.
The two gave each other a pretty emotional hug, while Alex was barely holding back his tears. Barbara uploaded the heartwarming video on her Facebook page, outlining what transpired in an accompanying message. And after Todd and Alex's heartwarming exchange got more than 180 likes and generated 130 comments, the mother decided to get in touch with the Good News Network website. The woman wrote them about her son's story and wanted the tale to be recognized. Barbara said, after posting this story on my Facebook page that evening and reading all of the heartwarming responses, I felt compelled to share this story of brotherly love with a wider audience. The generosity shown by Todd is just one of many amazing facets of his character. We're so very humbled by the awesome human being he's grown into. The Good News Network really liked the story and published it via its YouTube channel. The video went viral and gained plenty of traction there, earning close to 95,000 views. What's more, other news channels such as Evening Standard, the Epoch Times, and LAD Bible picked up the boy's story. Soon enough, it became very popular and got noticed by a high-profile name. Kelly Clarkson got in touch with Alex and Todd and asked them to be guests on her show. The siblings appeared in front of the camera in September of 2020, where Todd also revealed the inspiration behind his plan. As Todd tells Clarkson,
I got the idea from my mom. Her parents sort of did something similar for her back when she was growing up, right before she moved out with our dad. So I got the idea from her. And then, Alex graduated about 3 years ago.
At that moment, Alex notes the sum that he added to the savings pot.
But I just took the $350 a month and put it in a savings account, and then I put $150 of my own in there, so it'd be a nice even number, $500. And then after about 2.5 years, it had grown to about $14,000.
That's really a lot of money. Then Clarkson turns her attention to Alex to get his thoughts.
I was completely dumbfounded. As you can see in the video,
everybody, including my parents, were just crying. There wasn't a dry eye. My brother said that he didn't want me to struggle like he did the first time, he bought his house. And he's always been so giving. He outdoes himself every year when it comes to Christmas or birthdays. But I don't think that he's going to be able to top this one.
The segment itself was then uploaded to YouTube via the Kelly Clarkson Show's channel. We are still burning with curiosity whether the boys purchased Alex a house. Did he finally get it? Well, Barbara shared an update on her Facebook page in June of 2020. She took a picture of Alex outside of his new home with a huge, bright smile. He also holds an oversized key with the word "sold" printed at the top. Alex's biggest dream had finally come true. Barbara wrote, "Congratulations to Alex on becoming a homeowner for the first time. Dad and I are so proud of you." This post earned 140 likes along with many supportive comments. Alex's new home is located not too far away from Todd's place in Wentzville. Even though now the brothers are living separately, they'll never be apart. Such a heartwarming thing that happened between them made them even more inseparable.